Thank you, Manta, for the introduction, and thanks everyone for attending my presentation. I'm Omidreza Shoghli. I'm an associate professor at University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And today I will be presenting on behalf of my student, Fatemeh and Amit, who conducted this research on assessing the impact of augmented reality assisted warnings on roadway workers' stress under different workload conditions. I will start by quickly bringing your attention to the number of injuries and fatalities in the US. I'm pretty sure it's not much different in different countries, but in the US in 2022, the last year that we had the data for, we had 891 work zone fatalities. And this is only the people who lost their lives in work zones. And as you see, there's a 96K estimated total work zone crashes estimated for that year alone. And that alone speaks enough to the motivation and why bringing in new technology is significant and important in roadway work zones. So this work obviously firstly is motivated by the number of injuries and fatalities that has been showing in US an increasing trend since 2013. And current technologies you might be familiar with, most of them are reactive. And in this context, by reactive, we mean that they only get activated and start alarming the workers when the actual intrusion happens, meaning that a car hits a cone of the work zone or a commercial vehicle intrudes into the work zone, and then they start alarming. There are many shortcomings with those. Firstly, they don't give enough time for workers to run to safety, and then they use far away alarming with sound in a very noisy environment of roadways and highways, and sometimes they're not effective. And the other reason for conducting this study is the integration of artificial intelligence and augmented reality for predictive real-time warning to overcome the challenge of being proactive, not reactive. And for that reason, like you see in the figure that we have here, it's a very simplistic version of roadway work zones. There are many variations of roadway work zones, depends on the need of road closures for the maintenance. But we are trying to use a machine vision to look into the incoming traffic, predict the trajectories, communicate the assessed risk with the workers, and notify them. But this is a background story behind what's being developed. But to experiment the human factors of such technologies, obviously we couldn't get the workers to the real world work zones and put them in the danger of intrusion. And we used virtual reality for running most of our experiments. And the other thing is, while we are talking about technologies, and for all the right reasons, we are very excited about their potentials, the human factors, for example, the impact of them on the stress, the impact of them on the situational awareness, the impact of them on cognitive load of the workers are completely underexplored when it comes to the specific context of construction work zones. To give a little bit more of a background on how we conducted this study, this is part of a research project sponsored by NSF. Here, I'm just only presenting part that we studied the human factors, but the big picture and background story is we have cameras in the nose of the work zones looking into the incoming traffic with an edge device that is using an AI to predict the trajectories and assess the possible intrusion and communicate with worker wearing augmented reality glasses and give them a warning, not only on the augmented reality glasses, but also using a haptic with a smartwatch and also audio warnings that is embedded in the augmented reality glasses. And as you see here, this is the closed loop. In our experiments for human factors, we didn't do the end-to-end, meaning that the AI was not active. The obvious reason is waiting for those events to happen is going to take a lot of time. Intrusions are rare event. So we simulated and used the Wizard of Ozzy simulation to replicate those. So in this research, we aimed to, in this specific one, we aimed to evaluate the workers' stress levels when they're getting the AR warnings while they are involved in light and medium activities, light inspection and medium, doing a medium physical load activities like leaf blowing, and offer a method for continuous and non-invasive monitoring of stress level among the roadway workers, and quantifying heart rate variability, HRV, and other stress indicators, yeah, like NN50 and PNN50, and also electrodermal and skin conductivity. So our experiment design, as you see in here, included a virtual test bed that we have developed for multiple different experiments in our work, which was developed in Unity game engine using an Oculus headset combined with a Galaxy Watch for delivery of the warning. And also we used, these were like the technology hardware used for the simulations, but we also used an Embrace Plus wristband for human sensing, physiological human sensing, to use the PPG sensor and EDA sensor to collect the data relevant to stress. And then simulated two different tasks for the participants, one being a very simple inspection using an iPad or a tablet-like device just to take a picture of the defects. And the other one was a medium intensity activity, which was leaf blowing. It was a mixed reality experience, meaning that in the real lab environment, they actually picked up a leaf blower to have the weight experience and load exerted to them. And in the virtual reality environment, we designed interactive features to turn on the leaf blower, do the leaf blowing, and that was a physics-informed environment that leaves are going to be removed and all is going to be played. So I had a quick demo right in here, but it's not working. When we get to the end of the presentation, I will quickly move to my channel for the research lab and use the time that hopefully I have to show you a good enough, close enough demo to this one. So what we did for data analysis, we tried to derive the heart rate variability from the PPG and also analyze the electrodermal activity. Limited time, I won't get into the details, but we used PPG and we looked at IBI, as you see in this basic figure that shows the heart rate, and analyze the heart rate and heart rate variability. And as you see here, obviously we were looking to see when workers are performing low intensity activity and medium intensity activity, are they experiencing more stress or less stress, more heart rate, less heart rate? And are those significantly different, statistically speaking, in those experiments? And as you see for heart rate, we observed significant difference. For HRV, and HRV is the indicator of stress that most of us, if you're using an Apple Watch or a similar product, you can see your HRV. They also use the same thing. They use the PPG data to derive HRV, but there are other indicators that probably when we are scientifically working on this can also help us better understand the stress. That's PNN50 HRV and NN50 HRV. When we observe those, and these are again indicators of the stress, we realize that there's a significant difference. Lower NN50 values during moderate activity and lower values in HRV shows higher stress, indicating that there's a higher stress, but in PNN50, no higher stress. When it came to high frequency HRV, we again observed significant difference, and number of SCR peaks. SCR peaks is an indicator that we used for using EDA sensor, skin conductivity, which is another indicator of stress. It's a common feature that might be very tangible if you think about the lie detectors that we see all in these movies, those are also using EDA and skin conductivity to see the amount of stress. We did a similar process, and as you see, there was no significant difference on that one. Okay, I think I mistakenly did an extra click. Okay, to conclude our work, we incorporated physiological characteristics to assess stress levels during AR-enabled warnings combined with audio, visual, and haptic signals. To repeat again, this was a multi-sensory warning delivery for many reasons, one being the noisy environment of the roadway work zones. And in this paper, we clarified the relationship between worker stress, workload, and physical demanding works. And we observed that workers are experiencing lower HRV, which is connected to higher stress, and mean HR and higher mean HR during medium intensity activity compared with low intensity activity. Moderate activity recorded lower mean NN50 and PNN50. Again, NN50 and PNN50 are other indicators of stress compared to light activity, and significant difference were observed in high frequency HRV. Now, if I have a minute, I will quickly show a demo of the experiment environment. As you see, we tried to create a highly immersive virtual reality environment that simulated the augmented reality experience within the virtual reality environment, meaning that the worker is going to go and grab the augmented reality glasses in virtual reality environment, look into the work zone. This version was not that was I actually intending to represent here. The one was the one that we were using the mixed reality with the leaf blower, but this is close enough and showing the light activity, and vehicles are simulated. The actual experience, this is a little stretched, but actual experience is obviously to the scale. It's not like this. This is because embedding this in this video, and the interactive experience of leaf blower that we see here. The version that we experimented includes the leaf blower actually in the physical world or in the lab, which is not here. And that's the difference between those two demos. But as you see, all the visual and audio experiences in work zones were simulated in this environment to increase the realism and fidelity of the work zone environment. And I'm glad that this has the other part, and this is the AI functionality. And as you see, it's detecting the incoming vehicles, predicting the trajectories. Those lines in front of those vehicles are trajectories, analyzing the speed, IDing and re-IDing them, and then communicating with the AR module that I just talked about. What you see on top is a real world video that we replicated that version in the virtual reality environment. Okay, thank you so much.